These ewes are about a month away from lambing, so we need to make the necessary feed adjustments and give them a general welfare check. The breeding ram we used was introduced to these ewes at the end of November 2017, and here we are 4 months later. The gestation period of a sheep is 5 months. Though it's possible that the ewes were not impregnated during the first couple weeks that the ram was introduced with them, there is a chance that at least one or more of them were. And with as big as Connie here has gotten, I'm thinking that she's probably hitting that 4-month marker now. Big Connie. Clover here, on the other hand, is still looking kind of small. Since we've possibly entered this last month of the gestation cycle, we need to make some adjustments in their feed rationing.
Let's look at the nutrient needs of the ewe during her gestation. The whole idea with being a successful farmer is to feed according to need. So if you know what she needs, you know when she needs the best food. The very, very best alfalfa, your best dollar, your best nutrient goes in here the last part of her pregnancy and during her lactation. So that is when you want the best. But grass hay is from when she's already bred. Then you can gently reduce the amount of alfalfa, increase the amount of grass. And during this time right here, which is a restful time, there's not a lot of demands, that's when you can give a little, good quality grass hay.
Over the winter, I've been feeding the sheep a hay that's 80% grass, 20% alfalfa. Now that they're in their last month of gestation, I've switched them over to this hay, which is sainfoin. Sainfoin is like alfalfa in that it has a much higher protein content as compared to grass. Sainfoin is better in some ways than alfalfa because it doesn't cause bloat in the sheep. Despite having boosted their protein intake, we're still having a little bit of an issue though with Miss Fiji back there. Fiji is my flightiest of the sheep, so she's not gonna let me get too close to her, but I have noticed Fiji losing some of her condition here. You can see she is clearly pregnant. She's got pretty big bulging on either side of her and beneath her, but her back end is a little bit on the skinny side. Right back in here, Fiji's hips are a little bit apparent. They're not super bony or poking through, but I'm starting to see that hip bone become apparent, and I don't want to see that. Also, you can kind of see her haunch is caved in just a little bit there as well. One cause for this could be worms. However, because we've had a similar occurrence with Fiji in the past, I'm inclined to think that it's not worms. When we bought Fiji and brought her to our property in spring of 2017, her condition was fine. She had just had her lambs and she was getting the same ration, the same feed that all the other sheep were getting and thriving on. However, a couple months later, I noticed Fiji wasn't doing so well. A few weeks ago, I noticed Fiji losing condition, meaning she was losing weight. Her hips were really starting to protrude and there was some concave action going in on her side, which is not good. I would condition score her around a 2, which is low. You want to be around a 3, 3.5. This is Fiji right here, the white with some of the brown splotches on her. Fiji is my oldest ewe. She is 9 years old, I believe. Weaning is a stressful time for both the mother and the lambs. I'm really concerned that if I were to not wean the boys right now off of her, that it would be detrimental to her health. After her 2 ram lambs were weaned off of her, Fiji started making a very slow recovery back to a normal condition. I gave her a deadline. If she did not get back to a condition score of 3, which is the ideal size for a sheep, if she did not get back to the 3, I was not going to breed her. And if we weren't going to breed her, she was going to get culled from our program. It would, of course, be a really bad idea to breed her if she were not in the right condition for it. Fiji pulled it together though, and she got back up to a 3 by the end of September, just in the nick of time, and she was ready to go. But now she's dropping condition again. She's probably at around a 2.5, which is not good given that they're about a month away from lambing, when she's going to have to start producing milk and feeding these lambs. My concern now is if we don't get her back in shape in time, she's either going to have lambing problems, or she's just not going to be able to produce enough milk for them, which means that we're going to have to bottle feed, and it's never as healthy for the lamb to bottle feed as it is for them to get their mother's milk. We know feed is not the issue because all the other sheep are plump and healthy, no one's losing condition, they're all fantastic and looking great. I also don't think it's a parasite worm of any kind. I believe that at Fiji's age, her body is just no longer really able to keep up with the demand of producing milk or making babies. And given that, quite sadly, Fiji's not going to be able to be a part of our breeding program anymore. But she is still pregnant now, and we have to do what we can to help her. This here is a mix of certified organic alfalfa pellets, Icelandic kelp meal, and Redmond selenium salt. Really the only thing I can do for Fiji is to try to boost her protein even more, just to give her a chance to build her muscle back up. But giving her extra hay is not really a good solution because our hay supply is finite. I can't really source any extra hay right now, and we only have just enough to get us through. So if I start using more hay, we're gonna go through it too quickly and not have enough. But I am able to get these organic alfalfa pellets at our local feed store. They are readily available there, so I can just go buy more at any time. And this is, I think, gonna go a long way in helping boost her protein. What do you think, little buddy?
I think it's nice. Does anyone want to come in?
Sure.
Yeah. You are. Maybe.
Hello, Maggie. Hello, Sage. Hey, who's your favorite lamb?
This one.
Why do you like Penelope best?
Because she's super nice to me.
Is she pretty soft?
Yeah, she's pretty soft. You guys might want to pat her.
Maggie, you're starting to shed. Where are you heading, Clara? That alfalfa and mineral mix is going to be good for all of the ewes, which is great. And just as a precaution, I am going to move ahead with doing a fecal sample on her, send it off to the lab. We had a fecal egg count on her, just to make sure that there isn't a parasite issue. If you're interested in learning more about the fecal samples and fecal egg counts, I made a really cool video on that last winter. I'm leaving a link up in the corner of the video for that, as well as a link to the video that outlines the whole feeding program for the sheep prior to breeding, during gestation, and post lambing. These ewes are about a month. Clover behind me. My goodness, everyone's trying to crowd in this picture. Come here, Clover. Get in the shot here too, girl. Annabelle. However, because we've had a similar incident with Fiji like this in the past,